Welcome to the Global Wellness HQ family of podcasts. We are your international headquarters for resources and ideas and insight in relation to the 9 elements of holistic wellness. Join us as we interview local and international wellness experts and learn how you can implement and improve one element or dimension of wellness at a time. Our experts will share their practical tips on wellness in one of these core areas: emotional, intellectual, occupational, physical, environmental, financial, spiritual, social, or habitual. We created our family of podcasts as a resource for anyone who is looking to integrate the 9 elements of holistic wellness into their daily lives. Welcome to the show. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to talk about a little thing I'm going to call abundance versus scarcity. And this is a hot topic in my world, and I share this because I think it's absolutely important. And I'm going to share a little bit of insight and I'm going to challenge you a little. But first, let's discuss definition. So, first of all, I think we all know mindset. That's how we predominantly think. And there are two main mindsets that sort of filter everything else that we do. The first I'm going to share is the abundance mindset. And abundance mindset is about being optimistic and it's about believing that there is plenty of resources for everyone to go around. And then I love visionaries because they literally by default operate from a world of abundance. They see a challenge as an opportunity, they don't believe in problems, and they focus on long-term strategic solutions rather than short-term problems. Now, on the flip side, and I'll go into a little bit more detail, but the flip side is a scarcity mindset. And really, truly, scarcity comes from the place of we believe in limited resources. So we're always fighting to get our share. And what that does is it causes hyperfixation, very short term coping instead of that long term problem solving. And really, truly, what I see in the world is when there is a scarcity mindset, there's jealousy and stress and discord. So think about it for a minute. If you believe that things are scarce, you're going to fight to get everything you can. When you believe that resources are abundant, you're just going to help and make sure you take what you need and leave the rest and you help others find it. So the thing I will say about abundance mindset is we're looking at opportunities in a situation. Everything is a chance to learn or to grow. We are in control and we take responsibility. And with abundance, most of your mental energy is on new possibilities and how do we best serve humanity. We feel like we're in control, we feel empowered and engaged. And in a perfect world, our positive attitude will inspire and energize others to perform at their best. In a less perfect world, it drives away the people who are going to stop you and say it can't be done. And what I love about abundance mindset is it's all about collaboration and they play well with others by sharing both knowledge and success. I love, love, love optimistic thinkers because they think big. They're okay with risk because they assume that things will work out. And they tend to trust the people around them by focusing on relationships. Um, One of the things I will say, a lot of people, I love Bob Berg, John David Mann. I love their book, The Go Giver. You can't be a giver truly unless you believe in abundance. So I love to contribute to others. I hope you do as well. And basically, the last thing I'll say about abundance is that people who live in abundance establish their sense of self worth by comparing themselves to their best self. It's like golf. You're not actually always competing with other golfers, you're competing with yourself. How can I get a better score? Now, on the flip side, we have the scarcity mindset. And basically, when you have a scarcity mindset, you're going to look at the limitations of a situation. There's a victim mentality that is always at work, we're always struggling, and most of the mental energy is going to be spent on what's lacking. There's often feelings of frustration, powerlessness, anxiety, anger, and fear. Basically, I'm sorry to say, but if you live in a scarcity mindset, your negative attitude demotivates others and drains their energy. I would call it the energy vampire. You're literally feeding off your fellow human beings just to feel okay and get through the day. And collaboration is not natural to you. You're going to resist it because you don't want to share the credit. Again, you believe that even the credit is scarce. Sadly, when you're stuck in scarcity, you're going to think small, often avoiding risk, and you will find it hard to trust others. You're going to, by default, be suspicious. What are their motives? What are they after? What do they want from me? And in most situations, you act as a taker. You're expecting more from others. And quite frankly, you're okay with asking others to carry more of your load because you feel your burden is heavier than anyone else's, and you're okay with that. And again, I'm not judging here. I'm just saying this is sort of what a scarcity mindset looks like. And unfortunately, it's not your fault, but the reality is you establish your sense of self worth by comparing yourself to others. And by the way, I personally believe that being active in a lot of social platforms on social media causes a comparative scarcity mindset because we see the people who live bright shiny lives and they have wonderful things in front of them. The reality is we don't know what how hard they work to earn those things. We don't know where they are in life. So a scarcity mindset is bluntly very exhausting. So I'm just going to say off the top of my head that if you are in an abundance mindset, great. I love meeting people who believe in abundance. If you're in a scarcity mindset, find ways to improve your mindset. So that's my 2 cents. So we talked a little bit about mindset. And the good news is you can develop a more abundant mindset. And by the way, this is not always a natural skill for people, so you're going to have to work to it. I promise you, learning how to develop an abundant mindset is worthwhile. It can be life changing in an instant, or it can be life changing over time, but it is life changing. So, some of the ways you can develop a more abundant mindset is number one, foster collaborative relationships. Build in an environment and relationships around you that helps you collaborate instead of compete. And if you're in a place where competition is the norm, it's much harder to come up with an abundant mindset. So, foster a peer group that isn't about competition, it's about collaboration. And by the way, with competition, it's usually I win, you lose. It's a zero sum game. With collaboration, it's I bring something to the table, you bring something to the table, and together we create something better. So it's literally a case of 1 plus 1 is 11. Now, not literally, but that's kind of the example. A second way to foster abundance is to practice gratitude. And I've seen this in my life, I've seen it with my colleagues, peers. You physically cannot simultaneously be both grateful and depressed. It's physically not possible. The wiring, the chemicals in your brain, different things. So, one of the things I do, and I recommend my people around me do, is focus on gratitude. And what that does is, first of all, it helps you be aware of what you do have instead of fixating on what you don't. And by the way, if you're new to gratitude, you can just say, I'm grateful that I woke up this morning, or I'm grateful that I'm not, in a war torn country. Like there's always something we can be grateful for. If you can't find something to be grateful for, I'm sorry, but you're stuck in scarcity and there's nothing else I can do. So I'm going to encourage you to practice gratitude. Now, the third thing is what we call notice and redirect automatic thoughts. And this is not about judging them, it's just looking at your default thoughts and seeing if, on the whole, are they positive or negative. I've seen people where, something doesn't go their way, a tiny little thing like they miss a traffic light, and they say, wow, I'm stupid. And it's like, how did you go from miss the traffic light to I'm stupid? So notice your thoughts and try to find ways to differentiate and replace them with a different perspective. And this becomes a habit. If you do it frequently enough, you'll get better at interrupting automatic habits of thought in all of your areas of life. So we want to interrupt those negative patterns of thought. And then the final thing I'm going to share is advocate and give support to others. So recognize when you have resources that you can share with others. Again, I'm not saying give away everything you own and go live in some sort of yurt somewhere and be a pauper. What I'm saying is sometimes the biggest gift you can give another human being is a smile. So practice being kind to others, practice giving your love and attention to the universe. It comes back in spades. So we want to help others, lift them up, and selfishly, that will lift you up. So as you're practicing abundance instead of scarcity, that's a good way to grow your abundance practice. And just start small. Find a little, who can I smile at? Who can I say good morning to? Who needs a pat on the back, figuratively or literally? So that's my little rant. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly does abundance versus scarcity have to do with cash flow and who's right? And by the way, that's what I love about binary decisions. Everyone wants to know who's right. Is it the abundance people, the optimists, or is it the scarcity people, the pessimists? Now, this is one of those scenarios, and I just love the irony of this. I want you to walk away and ponder this. Whether you believe in abundance or you believe in scarcity, you're right. And what that means is your brain is going to find the evidence it needs to support your worldview. So if your worldview is that the world is horrible, it's dark and dreary, and everybody's mean, your brain is going to find evidence to support that. Now, if you're an optimist and you think the world is full of sunshine and rainbows and unicorns and, fresh linen and cute babies, guess what? Your brain will find proof of that as well. So personally, I don't care which one is absolutely right because if my mindset tells me one's right, I will find ways to support that and make it true. So for me personally, I choose abundance because it's quite a bit more fun. It's less stressful. And here's the thing, even if somebody's attacking you, even if somebody's being mean to you, there's almost always a way to find something positive in it. And for me, absolute worst case scenario, when something doesn't go as I've planned, I've had an experience, there's a lesson in it, and somehow I'm better for it. And by the way, if you don't have any real trauma in your life, you're far less interesting because the pain and the suffering and things, they're just the way the universe teaches us lessons that we need. If you've never had sickness, if you've never lost a loved one, you're not growing because you're not learning how to cope. So again, I embrace even the worst things in life and I say, thank you. What have I learned from this? So coming back to cash flow, if you have a scarcity mindset and you're joining the cash flow club, I would really encourage you to pause for a minute and reflect because the reality is you're going to want to take from the group. You're going to say, what can I get out of the group? What's in it for me? How quickly can you solve my problems? And honestly, that's not fun for anyone. Whereas if you have an abundance mindset, and this is where I love to play, abundance mindsets in a group like Cash Flow Club is electric. What that means is people will come up with new ways to support one another and they'll give each other ideas and they'll share the energy. And basically, if we have a room full of abundant mindset people, it's everyone else's cheerleader, support group, but more importantly, the synergy, like I said, 1 plus 1 is 11. When you have a really good group, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is literally a billion because a good group of abundance mindset people will lift each other up. They'll ask long term strategic questions. They'll want to solve long term challenges rather than focusing on what's going on in my life wrong right now and how do I fix it. So if you have an abundance mindset, let's have a chat. I don't know if we'll work together, but I guarantee we'll find a way to have a little fun together, get to know each other, and maybe make the world a better place. Thank you all and have a great day. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our show. We hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we invite you to either click the link below or scan the QR code to register and listen to other episodes of our podcast. Or if you think your business or you would be a great guest to be on our show, we're always looking for experts in one of the 9 elements of holistic wellness. We'd love to have you. You can either click the link below or you can scan the QR code and complete our speaker intake form. Thank you, and to your wellness.